Yeah, so definitely not looking to impression right now, but like Shikamaru, acting so extremely hesitant that really not being forced to like both and put Shikamaru into Shikamaru's battle against Temari. My personal impression is definitely what I'm still thinking also that Shikamaru will definitely be genuinely passionate about wanting to be a strong ninja and wanting to be such an exactly like Temari. Definitely not a personal impression. It would be like totally a fake act by Shikamaru, solely due to like Shikamaru, because like Shikamaru might be like totally extremely insecure within, and basically Shikamaru was totally insecure within him, as to like showing his like when it comes to like revealing Shikamaru's true self, that true passionate self, like Shikamaru's true self, in which like he was totally passionate and totally interested and he would be totally enthusiastic about like wanting to be this strong ninja. So like, but still Shikamaru is totally extremely insecure about like letting others see that side of that true side of Shikamaru that unfortunately I think Shikamaru might have sort of this strategy of this like fake acting as if like he's like totally extremely lazy and only extremely uninterested and as if like others are basically as if like the people around him are basically forcing him into like participating in like the Chunin exam and participating in all these battles and everything. It would be all like just a fake act put on by Sigmaro to like totally cover up and hide up his like actual true passionate wanting to be a strong ninja self. It's definitely my personal career ambition. But like I'm going to think even in Shikamaru's battle against Temari, Shikamaru will genuinely want to hit for and defeat Temari in a fair fight. That's definitely my personal career ambition. And I'm going to think initially once like the Temari was Shikamaru fight against like I'm going to think Shikamaru should totally get like the absolute opposite of that. For example, say totally putting like Temari to like totally even though in the case of Temari, even though Temari genuinely will be deep down, will be so passionate about wanting to become a Chunin and solely and Tamara will be like even though Tamara will be hiding her soul self, it should be that Tamara will be like extremely disappointed that she can't basically she will be totally feeling as like solely due to like Orochimaru like the sand village aligning with like the sound village and Orochimaru's plan and everything like Tamari is like totally unable to like is in such a situation where like she was the only feeling that she's unable to like she is being forced to like basically follow the orders that Shonen level science village ninja teacher gave her to like especially most likely would be to like not reveal her first point and for her to lose to like her opponent in like the exam in a believable manner so that like she could be like quickly get back and be ready by the time Orochimaru would be making a move. So like Temari right now would be totally feeling extremely disappointed and would be like initially as like the Temari fight against Shikamaru would be giving like Temari's mindset would be to like totally to like not at all give it up everything at all in a fight against Shikamaru and like for her to like not all reveal her full powers and basically to like fight Shikamaru in like a believable in a manner that would be believable to like the audience and like the Hokage match would be what they and then to like without giving her even not even like the remote state of a through point like for Temari to like lose against Shikamaru would be what Temari would be like extremely reluctantly would be like having fixed in her mind currently as like Temari is like that against Shikamaru would be because definitely won't go to the end. But like I'm also bring as like Temari or the Shikamaru fight for this example they don't different for Shikamaru who will genuinely be deep down passionate about wanting a fair fight and wanting to defeat Temari in like a fair fight. Kutil examples they only for for Shikamaru and like the fight brothers to like Shikamaru to totally call Temari out for like not giving it up all. And like Shikamaru would be doing his absolute best to like expose like the fact that Temari is like not giving it the everything in her fight against Shikamaru. But like I'm considering Temari is still like totally putting on that fake act as if, like he's actually giving it this is like her full strength and everything. So like I'm considering then Shikamaru would like totally use another strategy, not to like turn this into like turn the fight into a fair fight and not to get Temari into like basically giving it up everything again. Shikamaru in her fight against Shikamaru and also the strategy that Shikamaru will most likely using will be to like exercise this trigger and provoke Temari. And that's exactly what I'm looking for Shikamaru to do. That Shikamaru will be like precisely like and tactfully like separately provoking and triggering Tamari to the point that basically Tamari would be actually falling for it eventually and like Tamari would be like totally would be getting like triggered and enraged against towards like Shikamaru to the point that Temari would be forced to like bring out her actual true strength. And at that from that point on, it would be like an actual the fight would be turning into like a fair fight. It like and once like Temari will be bringing out her true strength at that point, like Shikamaru would be totally initially would be totally orphaned by like and it is the strength of like Temari. And initially, I'm was expecting at that point for Shikamaru probably struggling with Temari, but still I'm also Shikamaru would be, but still that just with that excitement element within Shikamaru as like finally Shikamaru gets to like struggle against in the fight against Temari, so that like that whole pressure that would be like put up onto like Shikamaru at that point would be like exciting for Shikamaru as like and that fight for the like I'm the different Shikamaru slowly then figuring out like selling forts in like Temari's fight strategy and like Shikamaru totally that way like really outsmarting Temari and like that way or and defeating Temari. That way, like not only Shikamaru would be getting his that free, but like even while Temari at that point would have totally given it everything towards like after a certain point, even though Temari would have given it absolutely everything in her fight against Shikamaru, and still that way, like basically the debate her joining level teaser, and still eventually ended up losing to like Shikamaru, not being able to like keep victory over Shikamaru. Still, even Temari as well would be like completely satisfied while she would be left losing to Shikamaru, especially because like at least she was able to like do what deep down felt right to her at least and she was able to like in a fight against Shikamaru, even though she lost, she was able to like give it up everything, and it was only then that basically she ended up finally losing to like Shikamaru. So like the fact that she was able to like do what felt right to her and was able to like give her everything in her fight against Shikamaru would be that alone would be like extremely satisfying for Temari, even while Temari would be like losing to Shikamaru. It's like the scenario. This much is like the scenario of like the Shikamaru Temari fight that I'm talking about the fucking and my person. So like I was really wanting to do and right now with like even Shikamaru's like Shonen level teacher as well. Like basically genuinely believe that Shikamaru always had like zero fighting spirit. My personal theory is that like that will be like the true extent to like how much Shikamaru had actually succeeded in like tricking everyone around him, including his own like Jonin level teacher as well, into think that basically Shikamaru has like zero fighting spirit and all that. And as a Shikamaru's like zero interest in like I'm not at all interested in like fiction like company. In actuality, my personal theory, I'm just definitely what I'm specifying on to like Shikamaru would be having like that same that very same passion and that very same fighting spirit as to the exact levels of Naruto to for him to like want to for Shikamaru to want to be so it's definitely my personal theory impression. But to this only due to that extreme insecurity that might lie within Shikamaru, which like prevents him from revealing that his like true fighting spirit and his true desire to be a journey in front of others. Like he would be extremely insecure about like revealing his true self in front of others, which would be like the sole reason for like him tricking everyone around him, including like his own Johnny level teacher into thinking that Shikamaru is like probably extremely lazy and have zero fighting spirit. This definitely my personal impression that I'm still thinking of it. So like my personal impression that like it comes to my personal theory like I'm because everything like Shikamaru's pro self, his pro passionate, desperately wanting to be a strong ninja self that basically he is like constantly might have been keeping it hidden from everyone, including his like Johnny level teacher like that true self of Shikamaru. Shikamaru is probably extremely insecure about and also even though Shikamaru will be only succeeding in like hiding Shikamaru's true self from everyone around him to great extent towards like the future. Still, I'm like, eventually in like the very distant future, definitely that cover of Shikamaru is like totally get blown apart, and basically Shikamaru self basically being found out by like everyone around him that basically Shikamaru within that time was like extremely passionate and desperate to be like a strong ninja and was like secretly working extra hard without like everyone without like absolutely no one finding him like training extra hard and basically was like Shikamaru was not just this entire time was like secretly training extra hard and just really training extra hard to be a strong ninja and like he would like keep all of his training hidden from everyone else so that like and then like when he's Shikamaru is in front of like the presence of everybody else like Shikamaru totally due to his like totally due to his like extreme insecurity would be totally faking it and basically faking it and putting on just like fake I'm so lazy and I'm not at all interested act in front of everybody else. Might have been exactly what Shikamaru might have been doing this entire time, and that this whole entire thing to be like thing that basically Shikamaru, this whole entire trick that Shikamaru would be playing until that point into like the distant future would be like that whole power of Shikamaru would be getting blown and basically Shikamaru would be only getting exposed as like a desperate hardworking like ninja along the lines of like even though not as much as Rocky but still along the levels of like Naruto. It's definitely my perceived the eventual future scenario that I'm talking about the classic Naruto. It's definitely my perspective. Yeah, so like definitely my perspective interesting right now with classic Naruto like background music already like kicking in as like Temari is charging towards him to launch her of the second. So the thing like definitely for Shikamaru who either uses like ninja blades and blocks that attack of Temari which might appear to be like powerful in front of like the audience, but still I'm definitely Temari will be holding back a lot. Would be totally initially would be totally sticking to his plan and basically to the plan of like John and teacher. And basically it would be like not giving like not even like the remote of picking up through strength, but considering it in front of like the audience and considering to be totally top with like Shikamaru totally fake act, most likely fake acting and like as if like he's extremely lazy and lying on the ground and Temari is totally about to land up attack and I'm considering especially as to like what exactly would be happening about trying to positive either like Shikamaru most likely blocking her Tamari's weapon was with like ninja blades. So as if like he so casually and so easily blocking it, while in actuality Tamari won't be even giving it her strength to that attack. Or like the other possibilities like Shikamaru probably like evading or dodging that attack. Like on one second like Shikamaru would be like lying on the ground and like especially at the last second as Tamari would be about to land her attack on Shikamaru at that very last second Shikamaru is actually dodging it's either one of these will possibilities that about it or the project. It's like definitely the game direction as for like this time how like Shikamaru fight against Temari, how exactly Shikamaru will be basically catching Temari using his like shadow weapon jutsu and also don't ever think it will be most likely through like these multiple ninja blades that Shikamaru will be throwing at towards like Temari. That would be like most likely Shikamaru's strategy to use really big Temari certainly one of the game. So like I'm going to think initially like the intent behind there will be multiple intents behind like Shikamaru throwing his like multiple ninja blades towards like Temari. The initial intent would be to like precisely study, like thoroughly study like Temari's like movements like through like the battlefield and like also to like study also so that Shikamaru would be like patiently waiting and patiently studying the attacks, the multiple attacks of like Temari. And while like in the process of studying all this, like Sigmar would be like uh, the what the Sigmar would be like the strategy that Sigmar would be using to like study all this will be like him precisely dotting and simply not doing anything other than just like throwing ninja blades while being well and fully aware that basically that those ninja blades are definitely not going to like land or like do any sort of like either going to like land on Tamari or like anything like because we like the sole intent would be to like study Tamari's movements and attacks. And there would be just one more intent that would be to precisely trick Tamari into thinking that basically like Shikamaru is not planning anything by throwing his like ninja thing. When in actuality my personal favorite was that throughout like Shikamaru's battle against Tamari right now, but different Shikamaru is like keeping Shikamaru simply dodging and keeping on uh, Shikamaru totally dodging a lot and literally keeping on repeatedly throwing a bunch of like ninja blades one of the another. Uh, throwing a bunch of ninja blades is like the repeatedly it's like the scenario that I'm about to bring. And I'm about to bring eventually towards like after a certain extent like as like that between Shikamaru and Temari will be progressing to a great extent. Right now, about to bring Shikamaru would be like at a later point would be throwing once again throwing his like ninja blades. But at that point, I'm also totally Shikamaru should throw those ninja blades in such a way that like Shikamaru would be throwing the ninja blades and soon will be sending out his like shadow opening jutsu and sending out is in such a way that his shadow opening jutsu is like he having only the thickness of like the thread. It's like and basically like he would be like sending out those that thread lies behind following up like the ninja blade so that like it will Shikamaru strategy to like probably that way distract Temari into taking into keeping Temari's focus on to like the intermediate ninja blades and that way so that like Temari won't be like spotting like the tiny threat shadow propulsion jutsu that will be coming after following like those ninja blades so that like that way for Shikamaru to be able to get his like shadow propulsion jutsu all the way towards like Temari without Temari being able to like see the shadow profession to come towards this would be like how versus Shikamaru might eventually like capture like Temari and in person Temari the like shadow profession is definitely my Potential direction right now. My Potential direction is where like Shikamaru will be well and fully aware of the thing like in like the preliminary stuff like the target is to like like Shikamaru's like power as to like what it is as to like Shikamaru's power change like the power of the shadow of the was even revealed to everyone in like the preliminary surface or the paper to the next fight of Shikamaru. And Shikamaru did well as well as because of that like Shikamaru without expecting Temari. So like my cousin theory impression that like Shikamaru without expecting for Temari to like fight against Shikamaru in such a way that like he will be totally under and of like any shadow presence in like the scale in like the fighting stage and Damari always being understand always ensuring to like stay away from like quickly from like towards like the edges of like the stage. Especially since like that just have of like the stage have like a lot of shadows. And it's even in like if it's like in like the towards like the center as well. Even if like any shadow like extend towards like it's like from like the corners have extended towards like the center as well. Still like Samari would only staying at and ensuring like stay away from any sort of shadows in like throughout the entire of like the ring of like the stage. Would be one thing that Maru totally expecting. So like totally like so exactly because of this like Maru we totally expecting Samari to like totally keep her eyes on all the shadows in the stage like exactly because of this like to describe that first Samari would be the first reason for like Shikamaru like totally using strategy of using his blades towards Temari, ninja blades towards like Temari so that like Shikamaru would follow that those like ninja blades eventually at a later point in like the battle when it was like thread like shadow position to and that way gets the shadow position to the Temari and capture Temari then just like shadow position to so that way. It's like definitely my personal impression. So like definitely my personal impression right now with the Temari already things that they say they Shikamaru will be probably trying to like do Temari into that the area near to the trees where there are a lot of shadows in that stage and I'm probably something like with Temari or that Shikamaru will be totally expecting Temari to think such a manner and the strategy that right now Shikamaru will be like totally eventually definitely will be using to like precisely throw his like ninja blades as Temari and basically fight Temari in like such a manner that basically Temari would be actually genuinely believing that even more that basically that's exactly what Shikamaru is trying to do. That's like Shikamaru is trying to force like Shikamaru throwing all this ninja blades and fighting Temari in such a way that like Temari it will perfectly force Temari into that way like pushing Temari into an area towards like near to like where like the trees are. So this would be the trick of Shikamaru to like trick Temari into thinking that what Shikamaru is totally attempting at and trying to plan, it's like planning and trying to do would be like the trick of Shikamaru. When in actuality, I'm going to bring Shikamaru's strategy is precisely his ninja blade, getting like shadow position to so precisely while Temari would be desperately focused on the trees, shadows, and the trees and the shadows, and Temari that way, like getting Temari to like move closer and closer towards like Shikamaru towards center of space towards closer towards Shikamaru, while Shikamaru will be like moving around and throwing all these plates so that like without much so that like it would be easy for Shikamaru like shadow positioning to like send out shadow positioning to like without having to travel a lot of distance to be able to like get towards like Temari especially by following like Shikamaru ninja blade that Shikamaru will throw into its Temari. Like eventually for Shikamaru to succeed in trapping Temari in such a manner will be definitely Shikamaru's plans definitely goes into the emperor. And also Shikamaru. So like definitely my position in emperor right now as for like Shikamaru's mid battle against Temari totally watching like the fake cloud being envious of like the fake cloud like saying he has no desire and saying he the only reason he became a ninja was like he expected online. My position is that this would all be like the absolute fake act of like Shikamaru. That because like definitely the fun like of like a ninja, the fun part of being a ninja, my personal recommendation would definitely be like the ninja badge, which is like exactly what Shikamaru is doing. Because like it would be it's only a ninja that can actually have ninja badge. Someone who's not a ninja won't be able to like have ninja badge at all. And like some like and like what Shikamaru wanted was like just a fun, free life. Like all Shikamaru wanted was just to be free and wild and let this roam around wild and free. If that's all Shikamaru wanted, then Shikamaru didn't have absolutely any reason at all to be a ninja. Like because Shikamaru wasn't a ninja, then Shikamaru could like have all the freedom Shikamaru wanted, and then Shikamaru could like roam around wild and free. Like the reason Shikamaru even became a ninja, that would be something like anyone should do. Like, but like when it comes to like a ninja, something that only a ninja can do would be like to be able to like have some ninja battles, and that's what Shikamaru genuinely desired when Shikamaru like that's definitely genuinely was in fact like Shikamaru's idea of like having a fun life, becoming a ninja and having a fun life was like the being not like Shikamaru desiring to be able to do the thing that only a ninja could do. This would be like having like cool ninja battles. This was exactly the actual true fun life that Shikamaru wished and genuinely went beside and genuinely right now as Shikamaru is even fighting off against them. Shikamaru secretly deep down is genuinely enjoying like the fun life of being a ninja, of having being able to like have such ninja battles solely because Shikamaru is like a ninja, which Shikamaru won't be able to do since Shikamaru wasn't a ninja. And so like my person to embrace that precisely because of all the reasons definitely my person to embrace that Shikamaru slowly like once again hiding his like true self and Shikamaru from his point of view might be totally thinking that basically acting out it has like he's extremely uninterested and he's like lazy. While in like the middle of a fight an official's third phase to an exam fight, like in front of all this audience, like putting on this like absolute fake act of as if like he's like extremely lazy to even fight. Would be like Shikamaru would be also feeling that that would be there will be also a soul element to that as well, and that might be the pleasure even for Shikamaru always like desperately trying to like maintain that like whole fake act as if like he's always demotivated, uninterested, and basically and like as like is always lazy when it comes to like anything ninja related. This is definitely my personal preference. Shikamaru would be totally think that like doing so and acting out in front of like the entire audience and basically then that way like still like surprising like the entire audience into like this way Shikamaru did for an defeated Temari would like totally make Shikamaru totally look like absolutely and extremely cool, appear extremely cool in front of like, the entire audience and in front of all his like peer Chunin exam candidates as well might be what Chikamaru might be totally thinking. There with that element as well as like the element of like that extreme insecurity lying within Chikamaru in basically revealing his like full self in front of everybody else. That is like an extreme hard worker, passionate, someone who's like totally passionate to be a ninja and someone who secretly works extra hard to basically get stronger as a ninja. Like, basically, others like people around him finding out about this like from Shikamaru's point of view on top of like the insecurity, Shikamaru would be also think that it would make Shikamaru look like just like everybody else. Like it would take away the unique, it would like totally take away like any sort of uniqueness out of Shikamaru. Might be what Shikamaru would be also think. Like Shikamaru might desperately want to like make himself look unique in front of everybody else by like putting on the fake act of like as if like he's like extremely lazy to do anything ninja related. When in actuality, like once like someone becomes a ninja, like basically decides to become a ninja, like ninja battles would be like something that someone can't someone would be obviously expecting. Like a lot of ninja battles would be someone who would be like would be in one thing that anyone who wants to become a ninja would be totally and fully expecting. And Shikamaru and since like Shikamaru even has revealed that he became a ninja expecting a fun life. Like the having ninja battle would be the exact kind of fun that like Shikamaru genuinely wanted when he had even made his like a decision to like become a ninja to become a ninja. Definitely my person to represent that exactly Shikamaru like represents even having while having his like ninja battle against Temari is definitely my and right then for Shikamaru to even say that like he expected like something different. He had like a different idea of a fun life. It would be totally and solely for Shikamaru, totally consistently putting on his like big act and like an absolute show in front of like the audience to make to basically eventually surprise like the audience so that like Shikamaru would be totally expecting like the audience and everyone would be totally finding Shikamaru cool at that point once like Shikamaru leads up to like a lazy act into like eventually leading it into like eventually defeating Temari. It's definitely my personal theory and right. So this much might be all Shikamaru is doing is definitely my personal theory and my different person. So that I definitely my personal theory and person right now the like Temari using it for him side to about the point that would be totally Temari even actually thinking that that would be a good idea to use such a jutsu in like a stage filled with like so many more containing so many trees and leaves and everything. And while Temari would is like probably fighting off against someone who has like shadow perception jutsu, still yet for Temari to even be able to think as just like using like wind sight jutsu against like Shikamaru in such uh, such a situation would be solely due to like Temari getting letting her emotions get the stuff her by precisely solely due to like Shikamaru's silly smile and basically enraging Temari that like Temari wasn't able to like think clearly at all, and Temari nearly like took out her face of like anger of like that feeling of like probably of like her feeling that basically Shikamaru has underestimated Temari through like she by Temari taking it out on like Shikamaru through like her inside also like a naive attack like a inside to definitely my considering also like especially Shikamaru would be like also consciously doing that like Shikamaru would be totally consciously trying to like encourage Temari and there will definitely be Shikamaru's brains behind like Shikamaru trying to make Temari through his like mannerism and through his like words like Shikamaru be consciously trying to like make Temari feel that Shikamaru has like underestimated Temari so that like the possibility of like Temari given her and so that that way like through Temari possibly getting enraged that way like the possibility of Temari doing and creating any sort of blunder or like a mistake would be like the chance will be higher because like this would be like the intent behind like Shikamaru most likely having like consciously trying to make Temari feel in such a manner, and that would all be like a conscious intent to like enrich Temari by Shikamaru, so that like a Temari would be more highly likely to make a blunder or a mistake, and that exact blunder and mistake and right now or differing would be definitely like Temari even feeling as if it was like a good idea to even use. It's even a good idea to like even use her website to against Shikamaru, someone like Shikamaru, having like in like the current situation will be precisely that exact blunder and that exact mistake that Temari would be totally make right now. It's definitely my personal dimension because like my personal dimension that right now, precisely with like Temari using like the website to like emphasizing the website to like most likely cut down a lot of trees branches as well as scatter lot of leaves from all those great number of trees like all across like the stage. It's definitely my person to reimburse. So that's also like scenario, kind of like a scenario that I'm referring for that like through like the shadows that would be like since like it's like seriously sunny like the time is like the climate is like a peachy sunny climate like was different especially with like the leaves at the after like Tamaric like inside so I'm was only like the leaves being like scattered all across like the stage like maybe not to a great extent but still some of a bit of quantity of like number of quantity of like leaves like being scattered or uh, scattered across like the stage and like I'm was different maybe like a problem that was different Tamaris too, like maybe also naively, because like Tamari would be totally consumed with like her, and being controlled by her emotions and anger to like Shikamaru. That like I'm just different maybe for Tamari to like extremely naively not realize the extreme danger in which like Tamari is in, that's like having although having a bunch of leaves scattered all throughout like the center area of like the stage in like the ground because like Shikamaru would be able to like totally connect would be totally able to like use like the shadow being shadow of like those scattered leaves to Shikamaru's advantage to like that way like Shikamaru would be having like way shorter of a distance for his like shadow to be able to reach from those leaves towards like Temari is definitely Michael Victor Anderson. So like I was considering solely due to like Tamari being consumed with some anger and rage towards like Shikamaru Tamari not even naively not even realizing all this danger and emphasizing that way like Tamari should totally fought for like the trap of Shikamaru and like that way Shikamaru totally getting Tamari to like shadow positions into and like that way Shikamaru totally defeating Tamari's like the scenario that I was getting another thing to remember. So like my their impression right now has for like at this time once like eventually Shikamaru will be succeeding in like controlling Temari using his like shadow of his move. So exactly how essentially this time Shikamaru will be like using his like shadow of his move to be like taking out Temari and defeating Temari and those different things. it will be most likely the strategy that Shikamaru will be most likely using will be most likely take advantage of like Temari's like metal beam like weapons, especially in the range. So like that weapon would definitely be genuinely a lot heavy. So like I'm also Shikamaru to like after eventually succeeding in like controlling Temari using its narrow use to different Shikamaru to like precisely move that exact arm, like that exact hand. Uh, of Shikamaru, accordingly to like the exact hands in which like Temari will be holding that heavy metal beam like weapon of like Temari, and then I was referring Shikamaru to like uh, or, totally slap or like strike his the top of his head with his legs fist, so that like at that point in the case of Temari, actually will be totally slamming his head with like that metal beam. And that way, like Tamari straight away knocking herself out cold. Just like and Tamari fainting, and that way would be how both the things like Shikamaru will most likely see to like victory through his like shadow of the Hindu to over like Tamari. It's like the eventual scenario that I'm going to bring and to the impression. Also, like not the impression that like even though like the very first attack of Tamari towards like Shikamaru was like a close range attack using like Tamari's weapon, like I'm going to bring my personal theory is that maybe like both Shikamaru might not be able to like resist like shadow of the window while Shikamaru is lying down. It's like laying down. It's definitely going to put it in the Shikamaru might have to be on both his like 2 feet like standing up in order for Shikamaru to even be able to like perform this like shadow of the window. So it's definitely my personal theory. Shikamaru might have such a limitations that may my personal theory like Temari might have been like aware of it. Like it's definitely my personal temperature, and that might be the sole reason for like even like the very first attack from Temari towards like Shikamaru being like a close range attack using Temari's like weapon. Uh, and Temari even solely even doing that precisely. Temari might have been confident in doing that attack solely because of Shikamaru being in lying down state. It's definitely my on the ground state. It's definitely my personal temperature. Yes, definitely was a temperature right now. After like Shikamaru, for this straight away, especially after Temari used her like wind strike jutsu and like one like that of cloud clear like precisely Shikamaru like using straight away using his like shadow of jutsu and sending it straight towards Temari while Shikamaru was like standing on the very edge of that stadium. But considering that, it definitely be Shikamaru trick like it was completely conscious and Temari but only after that like totally thinking that it is like the maximum scope of like the maximum range is like 15 centimeters like it's like the maximum range in which like Shikamaru would even be able to like use it like shadow towards Temari. Like this would be exactly what Shikamaru wants for Temari to like think in such a manner that this is like the maximum range of like Shikamaru's like shadow of the group. When in actuality, I'm also getting too positive. Like Shikamaru and to precisely for Temari to even feel that it's like Shikamaru's maximum range might be the precise reason for like potentially after like the smoke cloud or after like the dust cloud might have possibly created after like the wind side so that Shikamaru might have greatly ran away and they really precisely moves himself to like the very edge of like the stage consciously and then send out his like shadow system to soon after to specific Temari into thinking that this is like the maximum range because like Timaru sending like the shadow system from like the very edge of like the stage. So like to totally trick Temari into thinking that this is like the maximum range when in actuality I'm also to what it is and Shikamaru's like as to like there will be more to like Shikamaru's like shadow system and I'm also bring it might be in such a manner that I'm also very positive. Either like Shikamaru will be able to like not only manipulate his own shadows, but I'm also putting while Shikamaru's own shadow is like combined with like the shadows of like the corners of like the trees surrounding like the stage. Like I'm also putting maybe Shikamaru might be able to like have access that way by staying in that precise shadow. Like would be able to like totally manipulate have access and totally manipulate that entirety of like the shadow surrounding like the corner of like the stage to Shikamaru's own will and advantage, especially my cousin Ram. So like my cousin Ram mentions that but like Temari only think that this is like the maximum range of Shikamaru's shadow because when Shikamaru Temari even drawing the line and considering the next strategy of Shikamaru will be totally to move Temari as far further back away from that line towards like where that because like the shadow like the trees will be surrounding like the entirety of like the corners of like, the space. So okay, what Shikamaru will be planning would be to like I'm preparing right now for Shikamaru to like keep throwing his like ninja blades towards Temari that way to get Temari like move backwards more and more away from that line. So that like Temari will be moving slowly moving closer and closer to the precise shadow of like the corners of the good stage. So that like I'm considering Shikamaru that the shadow of the Naruto will be working in two possibilities definitely like one might be like the possibility that Shikamaru might be able to like access like the entirety of like the shadows surrounding like the corner of the stage to Shikamaru's own will and advantage. That's like one possibility that I'm considering. The second possibility is basically Shikamaru might be able to like release this like its own shadow from and detach away his own detach away and move around Shikamaru's shadow by detaching it away from his body while Shikamaru is in like the presence of other shadows. It's definitely my opinion. So like right now since like Shikamaru is present in like the shadows of like that exist in like the corner, like the shadows of the trees, like Shikamaru is right now present within that shadows of tree. Shikamaru might be able to like use that power to like basically detach away Shikamaru's own shadow and basically send Shikamaru's own shadow traveling through the shadows of the trees all the way towards like the towards the precise back uh, area of like the shadow of like the tree where like the shadows of the trees are present on the backside of where like Temari would be standing, and Shikamaru might be totally planning on keeping on throwing his ninja blade so that that way get Temari move, uh, so that way Shikamaru would be trying to like get Temari to like move more dodge and move backwards and more backwards towards like the towards like the shadow of towards like the shadow of the tree and maintaining like enough distance so that like Shikamaru's own shadow, which would have by then traveled all the way towards that precise location where behind where Temari will be standing. Like from there, like Shikamaru will be like since like Shikamaru might be able to like move around his own shadow, like Shikamaru from that point will be able to like, stretch out his that shadow to the maximum extent in which like Shikamaru will be able to like stretch out his shadow would be like to how maximum Shikamaru would be able to stretch out his own shadow. So like even then like Ambassador in the distance would be able to like catch up to where Temari would be precisely by Shikamaru most likely throwing his ninja blades and get Temari to like step backwards and backwards until like Shikamaru would be able to like reach Temari using his like shadow position to from behind Temari. It's definitely my potential ambition. This might be like Shikamaru strategy. It's definitely my potential ambition. There's like definitely my potential ambition as well like what Shikamaru right now will be about to attempt. Like the first strategy that Shikamaru will be using would be like Shikamaru while standing in that corner shadow surrounding like the space of like the trees. Like Shikamaru would be most likely detaching and sending away his own shadow through traveling through those corner shadows of the streets to basically making it reach like the location of the area of like the shadow of the tree where it will be precisely behind directly behind where the Temari will be like standing and Shikamaru and Rochefering of like throwing a great number of ninja blades towards Temari that way to like get Temari to like basically dodge backwards and backwards until like Temari would be like reaching like within that range where precisely directly behind Temari, Shikamaru would be able to like hit from like the shadow of the trees, like Shikamaru will be able, from like the edge of like the shadow of the trees, like Shikamaru will be able to like extend his own shadow to from there, detached shadow from there to its maximum so that like it would be within the range of being able to like make it towards like capturing Temari using like Shikamaru's shadow in such a manner that would be like most likely the strategy and those are the things Shikamaru will be using. In the either that or like my thoughts into remembrances that like Shikamaru might have also like totally taken advantage of like dust cloud that is created by the Temari use of wind sides to like precisely secretly move Shikamaru to the precise position towards like the corner of the state and from that position to like send out uh his like shadow position towards Temari in such a way so that like suffering from that direction if Temari was to like move backwards and even after like move backwards, then basically while Temari would be totally facing towards Shikamaru, while in that direction, like Temari, the shadow created on Temari through like the sun would be like precisely falling like directly backwards towards like Temari, so that like eventually once like Shikamaru might be like detaching away his like shadow position to and sending it traveling through the corners of like the stage into reaching like right behind like Temari like on top of like him stretching out his like shadow position to from like the very edge of like the corner shadow of like the tree right behind Temari. On top of that like Temari's own shadow might be also be falling right backwards as well. So definitely my personal interest. That way, like maximizing like the closeness of like the range, and that way maximizing the possibility of like Shikamaru being able to like reach the Mari using his like by sending his like shadows of the song right behind Samari. This is what Shikamaru might be totally planning, and this will all be possible for Shikamaru solely because of Shikamaru slightly sending his like direct straightforward shadow focusing towards like Tamari from that precise direction. After like Tamari used her with high face, so it's definitely my personal theory. So much might be like Shikamaru's strategy that Shikamaru might be planning on doing. Definitely my personal theory. So like my personal theory right now is that like Shikamaru even watching like the sky multiple times might be precisely exactly might have been exactly the definitely my personal theory. Shikamaru totally watching like the position of like the sun. Since like and Christian Shikamaru might have been like calculating and basically waiting for like the precise position in which like the sun would be in which like through that position of like the sun like Temari shadow would be able to like fall as backward as possible so that like Shikamaru like would be like having like the best chance of being able to like this shadow position to from behind Temari to be able to like reach Temari's shadow and that to control Temari. Certainly never going to remember. Yes, I like it. I remember to remember right now as for like the mysterious hand sign that Shikamaru currently using. The Shikamaru in the past have even used against its own joint takes of like playing just like and considering that hand sign won't be have any meaning at all. Like it would be slightly a trick, other than it being like a trick from Shikamaru to fold his opponent. Like that hand sign won't be having any super special powers or like it wouldn't even be Shikamaru meditating either. Like it's definitely not something to remember. Like that the precise intent behind Shikamaru using that hand sign would be precisely trick his opponent, no matter whoever it is. Like the Shikamaru's attempt to like basically trick his opponent into like thinking that basically Shikamaru's about to bring in something huge, like basically Shikamaru, as if like Shikamaru is about to make some huge move after by using that precise hand sign into totally giving such a fake feeling and a fake image to like his opponent so that like the opponent will be totally on the defensive and on the guard and will be totally expecting something major out of Shikamaru at that point when Shikamaru will be doing something extremely simple and silly so that like it will be totally unexpected for his opponents at that point. And that way, like Shikamaru would be might have succeeded in like the past multiple times, even with his like joining Taser in like using such a simple and silly move, like totally like going against like the expectations of his like opponent and that way being able to like outsmart his opponent to basically for Shikamaru being able to like reach the victory definitely not going to be so like right now the same thing most likely happening with Temari as well. Temari as well totally being like extremely suspicious of like that right hand sign of Shikamaru and Temari totally like or expecting something major out of Shikamaru after like Shikamaru through Shikamaru's like what else Shikamaru will be doing through Shikamaru after seeing Shikamaru fans and like Temari was totally expecting something extremely major when Shikamaru will like certainly totally taking advantage of that high expectation of Temari to certainly put Temari into like basically doing something extremely simple and that way totally outsmarting and Temari when Temari would be like totally least expecting something so simple and silly out of like Shikamaru like the scenario that I'm going to so like the film does into ambition that like the next move that Shikamaru will be most likely using after like this hand sign and was liberating will be like some extremely simple move. And there's also one other possibility that I'm observing that is precisely since like Shikamaru has Shikamaru looks at the sun before like making this prepared hand sign and was different. That could also be a strategy for Shikamaru to like totally buy time for himself to basically to totally give feelings, spot feelings to Tamaria to like Shimaru like about to launch something major, like some sort of a major huge attack, but like it would be totally Shimaru trying to like that way give that false impression to Tamaria and that way that's solely for Shimaru to like buy enough time for like the sun to reach the current sorry for like the sun to travel to be able to like finally reach like the correct position so that like Tamari shadow would be like falling behind Temari to the absolute maximum. So that like Shikamaru would be eventually be able to like take the maximum advantage of that. Definitely, that's also like about the end of the role of the thing. And my point is, so like definitely my person to remember right now. So like since like Shikamaru has like this extreme high IQ of like even more than 200, like and so different, so definitely about the different this would all be like Shikamaru even finding it like a pain to like move his pencil, and that day ending up Shikamaru getting like the things for certain Naruto so in for like extent, as well as like Shikamaru sleeping, ensuring to like sleep, ensuring that he alone sleeps during like the entire day, each and every single class in like the academy and everything. This will be all like Shikamaru's like high IQ and that Shikamaru will be like turning himself like this. He will be like in a fake manner will be totally creating this fake image of himself, like portraying himself as this like special character that basically it's so extremely lazy, but like it's extremely brilliant as well. Like it's like and considering because like the really because Shikamaru has like this extremely high IQ, and considering Shikamaru would be definitely might have been right off the bat. Shikamaru might have been extremely passionate about becoming like distinguished and attention gaining like Chunin or like John strong, John in several ninja or like a strong ninja that gets like the attention of like everyone that everyone finds extremely cool. This definitely would be like the ultimate goal of Shikamaru, definitely my personal memories. So like in order to like achieve this goal, like Shikamaru might have started like right off the bat, like when Shikamaru set up this goal, like Shikamaru might have decided that like even before entering like the Ninja Academy, like Shikamaru might have only planned and plotted in his mind that basically, okay, so like I would that Shikamaru would be creating like a fake image of himself as like he's like extremely lazy by sleeping in each and every single class, and like being known in front of all of his peers as like the uh, laziest student in class, like by ensuring to like pretend to like sleep during each and every single one of the classes, and basically even like even like basically him even and I'm was different exactly like in like I think like it was in like the two next one that maybe like Shikamaru might have had like the very same exact score as in Naruto, and I'm going to only brings it might have been not the first time that Shikamaru might have done something like that. Like I think even making the excuse that it's like a pain for him to like move his pencil skills, like it's like such an excuse is like such an extremely strange excuse. Like Shikamaru might have potentially calculated well in his mind, and Shikamaru might have done the very exact same thing and made this exact same excuse of being it's extremely hard to move his pencil. When in actuality, Shikamaru might have secretly studied long and hard, extremely hard to get good scores for like for Shikamaru to be able to like precisely get enough to be able to like ensure that he would be passing in each and every single exam that Shikamaru might have had in like the all the way back from like his ninja academy, and Shikamaru would be like studying so it's really hard from the previous day, and basically the next day Shikamaru would be like showing up for the exams and would be like precisely answering those things to the point that he would be able to like ensure that he would definitely be passing for the exam. And he would be like doing that quickly, and then like he would be like once again putting on this fake act in front of everyone. And like he would be like after like he has like he would be confident that he will definitely be passing for the exam. Like even though Shikmaru would be knowing more, and Shikamaru would be wanting a friendly feeling. It would be tempting for Shikamaru to like answer all the questions and like get high scores. Like Shikamaru would still be like consciously like restraining himself from doing so. To precisely for like the achievement of his like great, unique and distinguished image that he's like the lazy character that basically like he's like super extra brilliant. Precisely because like because like Shikamaru might have definitely look is like high IQ Shik this might be or might have all been Shikamaru's plan. So that like basically with the strange excuse of being it being a pain to like move his pencil that being like the pressure reason for Shikamaru not answering all those things like so especially when revealing like Shikamaru could have totally like hidden that from like his joint level teacher, and Shikamaru could have like actually told his joint level teacher that basically he genuinely didn't knew like the answers of like all the remaining questions like, but instead Shikamaru ensured that basically consciously to create his like fake image. Shikamaru consciously might have definitely in the past, like in each and every single exam that Shikamaru might have written in like the past, in like even way back from his Ninja Academy, Shikamaru might have ensured to like repeat just the very same line to his like doing level teacher set. each and everything single time that basically was excuse that basically it was it's extremely a pain for him to like move his pencil, and that the precise reason for like him just only getting like the pass mark for each and every single one of his exams. So like it might have been especially Sigmaru's way of like basically getting that word to like spread from his like joining level teacher to like to others, so that like Shikamaru would be even more like known even not only by the students but also by the teachers as that just unique character of that basically is extremely lazy yet extremely brilliant at the same time. Like Shikamaru at that time might have definitely been building up this fake image of him that basically he's just like extremely lazy character that's like extremely brilliant. So like for that way, Timaro probably hoping and expecting that everyone like eventually finding out about this, and like at that point like everyone totally feeling as if like Shikamaru is such an extremely cool character. This might be like definitely what one of the biggest priority of like Shikamaru. Shikamaru wouldn't just say that Shikamaru definitely wants be wanting to like be known all over like uh as like the this like extremely strong. Like Shikamaru definitely wouldn't want eventually for him to end up being like this extremely passionate and hardworking and determined like strong ninja. Like hopefully would be wanting like hopefully on the other hand would be like very straightforward about his intentions and everything, while on the other hand, like about in the case of like Shikamaru totally wants this fake image that is and he wants it, he eventually wants to be that end up being the achieve this goal and become this strong ninja. But at the same time, he wants everyone to tell that he is that at that point that basically Shikamaru was like such an extremely is in fact even then like he might want like even once like Shikamaru will be finally achieve his goal and becoming a strong ninja, like even then Shikamaru would be wanting like everyone around him to like totally talk about Shikamaru, that really that Shikamaru is this like kid who even from like just academy days was like extremely demotivated, and even to the present he is like still demotivated. Yet look at how far he has come and how far he has grown and all that. So like that way, what for Shikamaru totally creates a fake image of like coolness, what which like what Shikamaru believes is like so extremely cool, would be extremely cool for him to be seen as by everyone around him. To achieve this like fake image would be like the sole reason everything Shikamaru is doing right now, even to the present. It's definitely my personal theory and my personal prediction. Yeah, so like definitely my personal theory and prediction for like Shikamaru during this like early stages in his like that like against Temari, like Shikamaru even carefully staring at like the whole formed in like the ground after like Temari like straight away swung her weapon on Shikamaru and missed like basically it only has to do with like the research strategy of Shikamaru Secondary Business Revolution. So it was like exactly like how Temari has basically studied like about like Shikamaru studied thoroughly about like Shikamaru like as much as he could about like Shikamaru like shadow position so and considering to see the very exact same thing Shikamaru as well might have definitely done. Like Shikamaru might have like totally secretly might have like spent like might might have even spent like the entire previous night like without even sleeping, he might have like thoroughly study like the entire night about like Temari, all the details about Temari and about like Temari's like insight jutsu and everything, all of like Temari's attacks and everything. Like Shikamaru might have not even slept previous night either. Like I'm considering it might have been after like that entire thing that basically Shikamaru might have like showed up to this match against like Temari and totally put on his like fake act as if like he's extremely lazy and he's like totally demotivated about like fighting against Temari and all that. That's definitely my personal impression. Especially because like when became a ninja, two things are strictly different. Like ninja fights as well as ninja missions. These two things are different. In like once like someone becomes a ninja and like these two and my position is that obviously so Shikamaru like wanted to become a ninja while totally Shikamaru might have totally expected these two things. And these two things would be like the fun life that Shikamaru might have definitely expected out of like the ninja once Shikamaru will be becoming a ninja. And that's exactly what Shikamaru have got up until now, especially after like becoming a Kenin as well. Shikamaru might have definitely gone into all sorts of done all sorts of ninja getting missions as well. And even in like the Chunin exam, like the second phase of the Chunin exams, even being like the ninja mission phase, as well as like the third phase, the preliminaries of the third phase, as well as like currently now the third phase of the exam being like ninja badges. These are like definitely all the fun things, the fun life that Shikamaru totally wanted, while Shikamaru had made the decision to become a ninja, and Shikamaru is getting all of that. Yet Shikamaru is like will be totally putting on this fake act as if like he expected like a fun life where like looking at the clouds and basically thinking that like he wanted like basically a life where like he could be totally roam around wild and free, which would be something Shikamaru would be with like such extreme high IQ. It would be like something that would be obvious to Shikamaru that would be possible once Shikamaru becomes a ninja. Like it would be like, because like Shikamaru would obviously would have totally known that all he wanted was just freedom and wanted to like just roam around wild and free. He the only thing he has to do is like to not walk into like not be a ninja. Then he could like go anywhere he wants, do anything he wants. Yet him choosing to be a ninja, expecting a fun life like that. First fun life would definitely be like all the ninja missions as well as like the ninja badges that would be like Shikamaru will be having access to once like only once Shikamaru will be becoming a ninja. It's definitely my personal favorite. So like the entire thing would be like an absolute fake act by Shikamaru. It's definitely going to prevent Russia. So like precisely because of the reason my personal favorite is that Shikamaru, like my personal theory is definitely that Shikamaru might have definitely not even left like the entire theory of the previous night and might have studied like the entire of like the previous night about like all of like the moves of Temari and everything. So I'm both preferring like Shikamaru, like while even stepping into like the fight against Temari, like might have totally strategized already. Like Shikamaru even looking at the clouds and wishing to be free might have been actually Shikamaru looking at towards the cloud, not towards the cloud, but towards the sky. In the sky, Shikamaru was basically looking towards the sun, precisely towards like the position of the sun, to basically get like the sun to be like that. How much time is left until like the sun is ends up in like the precise right position, so that like the shadow of Temari would be like in like the precise exact position to that way get Shikamaru the exact precise maximum advantage. And also because like Shikamaru might not only like research and studied extra hard sleeplessly about like the precise wind side move being like one of like, the main moves of Temari. Like Shikamaru had a precisely strategized already at the moment Shikamaru even stepped into the stage. Shikamaru might have already had this like strategy. Studies hard and made up the strategy to precisely back into like the corner of like the stage so that like Temari would be forced to like basically repeatedly use her within side attack so that like through the repeated use of like Temari's like wind side attack. And also Shikamaru would be well aware that basically Temari won't be attacking Shikamaru from like a close range, especially because of like Shikamaru's like shadow position due to Temari. Shikamaru might have probably figured like Temari would be like even attacking from like a far away, long range distance. And especially Shikamaru might have also studied hard and figured out that Temari is like also strong point is also like Temari is like long range attack. So like Shikamaru might have even stepped into this battle against Temari while totally expecting totally planning on eventually moving to the very edges of like the stage and hiding behind the shadows and basically and that way forcing Temari to like repeatedly use her wind strike attack repeatedly so that like eventually all the trees surrounding like the stage will be giving Shikamaru that absolute advantage with like the repeated wind strike due to like breaking like down like the branches of like all those great number of a bunch of like those great number of trees that basically at that point Shikamaru and Shikamaru to Kremlin that through that by standing in like the shadows, like Shikamaru will be able to like, catch and send away his like shadow for certain jutsu traveling through the shadows. So like once like one of like the three branches will be falling down into towards to the inner portion towards like the space. Like at that point, I was preparing Shikamaru's like shadow for certain jutsu traveling through that tree, the shadow created by that the tree branch at that point that would be getting created, and that way like Shikamaru's shadow position to might be able to like quickly get make it towards like Temari and catch up to Temari solely due to like most likely having that the tree branch falling onto like inward into like the space. So definitely never clear and so like this might have been like a strategy that I think Shikamaru might have stayed up late and like sleeplessly might have studied hard during like the previous night itself and made up definitely might have been version and might have showed up to like his battle against like Temari as if like he's lazy and demotivated and unrealistic and he's like he hasn't like prepared or studied about Temari at all. Putting on that fake act of Shikamaru might have been exactly what Shikamaru might have done and would be like the strategy would be most likely possibly one of like the main strategy that Shikamaru might be using to like defeat them to eventually defeat Temari as can definitely not the so like definitely about the direction right now with like Shikamaru creating like a parachute jacket, a different jacket to like get his start of the jutsu towards Temari. Like my the impression that Shikamaru might still might have totally naively forgotten about like all the great quantity of leaves that fell off the trees in like the corners and spread throughout like the stage while Temari was like repeatedly using her synthesized jutsu. Like Shikamaru while Shikamaru would actually have taken advantage of all those great number of leaves spread throughout like the stage by connecting like by using like Shikamaru's shadow processing jutsu in such a manner as to like basically connect all as if like connecting all the dots, basically connecting like the minute shadows of each and every single one of the leaf spread throughout like the stage to basically quickly be able to like reach out to like shadow person by connecting each of like the shadows of like the leaves towards like making it towards like Temari. Even when Shikamaru could have totally used that and Shikamaru might have not realized that might be totally not might have not be totally not figured that out of hence and like Shikamaru might have used the strategy of like use his strategy of basically creating a parachute with his jacket and trying to like use like the parachute jacket to basically that way get his like struggle into like trying to get his like shadow split into towards like towards Temari is definitely what Shikamaru might have done and that might be like Shikamaru's like current situations that may not be so like I definitely want to be person right now as for like Shikamaru totally forfeiting and like Temari taking victory over Shikamaru after like after Shikamaru gained the possession of our Temari in the like shadow possession to like a soon after that for Shikamaru to straight away give up. And but the predict it would definitely have to do with like the very same that's my total impression that it would probably have to do with like the very same fake image creation strategy of Shikamaru. It's definitely my total impression. Shikamaru just want himself to like look cool in front of other, look cool and unique in front of everyone. Just like he was a reason. And in order for to achieve that thing, especially into the like such an important situation like the situation next time with such a huge audience like in front of the entirety of like that great number of audience like in front of like that great number of people like Shikamaru totally wanted to make himself look extremely unique even more unique than basically capturing like Damari versus like Shadow Position Duto and straight away defeating Damari with like the Shadow Position Duto. He wanted Shikamaru might have totally wanted to like take it a step higher so that like precisely Shikamaru might have totally forming the strategy in his mind to like precisely give up as soon as to give like the audience like the most unexpected situation with like Shikamaru planning on precisely giving up at the very moment because Shikamaru will be succeeding in like capturing like Temari just like strategy using his like shadow position okay like so that at that point like Temari won't appear uh, as like someone who lost the match. So that like the audience won't even though at that point like Temari would be losing to Temari so that still like the audience would totally won't be finding Shikamaru as like someone who actually genuinely lost against Temari so that like still even while Shikamaru will be losing to Temari Shikamaru will still be looking cool and as if like a winner of the match, even though Shikamaru won't be like the official winner of like the match, like still for Shikamaru to like basically create this like hot spot in like the audience mind as like this cool get trained and unique kind of like fighter that like that appeared to have won like the fight against Temari, like basically to create that absolute coolness image will be precisely the reason for like Shikamaru like basically losing to Temari and Rembers did. So like, I think Shikamaru might have definitely been lying about like him having like brained out all of it like having all of his chakra brained out that basically he can't like use it maintain his chakra for 10 more seconds. That would be like a totally absolute lie made up by Shikamaru to totally create this like unique and cool image in front of like the entire user audience. Definitely my perspective. This would be totally Shikamaru trying to like move close, trying himself trying to like move closer and closer towards achieving his like main goal of like eventually becoming this like not only just another strong ninja, but like big for him to like become a strong ninja that's like so totally extremely unique and basically that will like stand out in front of like when compared with like all the others. Like this would be like actually Chikamaru's ultimate goal, not just to become a strong ninja. So certainly my talking to Remerson and definitely my talking to Remerson definitely that Shikamaru, even Shikamaru is okay actually basically letting Temari, would have only let Temari defeat Shikamaru in the end. And precisely the reason for Shikamaru even doing that would be precisely because of like Shikamaru's extreme confidence or confidence in himself that basically Shikamaru would be easily able to like choose victory like in like the next soon next time that Shikamaru will be participating. Uh, would be that extreme awesome that Shikamaru has like and that would also be like a huge factor in like Shikamaru totally like letting Temari defeat Shikamaru is also definitely my position. It might have been like the coolness factor, like the coolness image creation in front of like fake image creation in front of like the audience finding Shikamaru cool that might have been like the top and highest priority for Shikamaru. So definitely my position. So like exactly like my position expression that right now Shikamaru letting Temari win like and do thing would be exactly like the similar thing that Shikamaru exactly similar to the exact thing that Shikamaru might have been doing ever since like entering into like the academy, ninja academy with like Shikamaru like writing taking part in each of it like writing each of the like exams and ensuring that basically he sleeps midway between the exam once he's like reaches that point of like confidence in like his performance in like the examination where he would be totally feeling confident that he would definitely be passing that exam. So once like Shikamaru would have ensured that basically he has scored enough to be able to like pass the exam, Shikamaru would straight away like lying down and pretending to sleep and once again building up on his like fake cool and unique image character building. It's definitely my personal theory about it. So that would be the best reason for Shikamaru like totally like not letting himself like consciously not letting himself like fail the exam. Like Shikamaru would always like ensure that he passes each and every single exam and then to put on his like say image that maybe person to him. So like connecting that with like the person Shikamaru fight against Temari, like Shikamaru but while Shikamaru by Joe definitely consciously like let himself lose against Temari, still that would be solely due to like that extreme or confidence that would be lying with certain Shikamaru that like the very next to an exam that Shikamaru would be participating in like the next year Shikamaru would be like easily able to like ace it and be like a Chunin. The extreme or confidence might be especially lying within Shikamaru, which might not only be the surprise reason of Shikamaru most likely having less Temari sees victory over Shikamaru precisely after ensuring that precisely like exactly like the path is Shikamaru ensuring to like get like the path mark before Shikamaru would be like talking about how pain it is to move the pencil like similar in such a similar manner like it would be with the parallels to that that basically currently like Shikamaru like not simply letting Temari win but like Shikamaru right before that Shikamaru ensuring that basically he gets to capture Temari with his like shadow possessing people so that like instantly that coolness factor of like Shikamaru coolness, fake coolness, cold image of Shikamaru will be formed within like the minds of all the entirety of audience and then for Shikamaru to like let Temari win. Might have been exactly what Shikamaru might have done up until this point and exactly might have been how like Temari ended up defeating Shikamaru is definitely my personal theory and prediction. So like the demon is remember like the old man for very might have taken so much like extreme pride in having like this year's like achievements and taking place in like his leaf villages that demon was remember. He's the old man Hokage might be like someone who takes so much pride, extreme pride in like being able to be like the Hokage of like the leaf village it is definitely my thousand theory impression. So like I'm also something like precisely because of this reason, like the Hokage might have desperately and badly wanted to like show off like the village might in front of like all the other villages and like I'm just referring like all these past like I'm considering the last my person theory that the last time like the two next time might have even taken place in like the elite village might have been way too many years back. That name I wasn't remember. So like since then I'm considering like the old man Hokage might have been desperately trying to like influence and exert like some sort of like desperately trying to like have somehow have like the another student exam in like the lead village. But like I'm going to bring that he, no matter how much he might have desperately tried, like as to date, none of like the other big shot Hokage, other Hokage level ninjas from other villages might have not at all agreed at all. And so, like, I'm preparing that each for a great number of years, like the student exam might have been being conducted in like all the other villages, like in like a bunch of other villages, except for like the leaf village. So, like, I'm preparing like this year's student exam being in like the leaf village, which might have felt like the Hokage to the old man Hokage, it might have felt like finally, as if like finally he got the chance to like show the might of his like leaf village and take so much pride and in like and somehow in and so like my personal impressions that like so like the old man Hokage might have been so extremely overjoyed and excited at having like this year's like having been able to like achieve like the whole uh, this year's student exam being taken place in like the leaf village. So like I'm bring like the old man Hokage might have like emotionally it might have totally overdone it about like the extreme importance of like the third phase of the Chunin exam, which which of the speech about that, which like the old man Horage, they just basically get going on and on about how extremely important like the third phase of the Chunin exam is and how all this electron gets would be flowing up and how extremely important this third phase of the Chunin exam is like Chunin exam and like specifically the third phase of the Chunin exam is like basically like the old man Hokage even going on and on about it through his like speech right before like the preliminaries of the third phase of the Chunin exam even began and that way like the old man Hokage might have emotionally overdone it and scared like some of like the candidates taking part in like as they were about to take part in like the third phase, preliminaries of the third phase of the Chunin exam might have been what might have happened to the my personal impression like so, and although my person theory is that like the old man Hokage might have been so desperate to like ensure that basically to somehow ensure that basically like once like the two exam is over like the since like if like the two exam of like the leave place this year like the majority of like the candidates participating in like the student exam eventually once like they will be ending up becoming students like the majority of them should be like ninjas from like the league village itself or like it would be embarrassing for like the old man Hokage might have been what the old man Hokage might have thought. So like what the old man Hokage might have done might have been like he might have ensured to like to forcefully like make the forcefully make like even way greater number of like elite village ninjas like participating into like forcefully participate into like the student exam. So like I'm preparing like the candidates that might have the overall in total like the overall candidates that like might have from like the elite village that might have participated in like the student exam might have been like way greater than the number of like ninjas from other villages that might have participated in the student exam. It's definitely my personal theory, myself. And my personal theory is that that might have also been like a huge factor in like basically by the time like basically the candidates might have made it to like the third phase of the student exam like this like in like the third phase of the student exam like the majority of like the candidates being like lead foundation ninja and while there were the remaining were only just the family ninjas alone. So like this might have been like a major reason for such a scenario eventually happening on like the third phase, of, like the student exams having like the majority of like, the candidates being leave those independents. So like the old man Hokage at that point might have been totally feeling so extremely full of pride, feeling so extremely prideful at having that thing with like being so taking so much pride in having like the majority of like the candidates participating in like the to next time being league today. So like the old man Hokage might have been feeling so overjoyed and excited and feeling so good and like but my person to remember is just that, like soon after like say Naruto was and the old man Hokage might have totally felt that like this is as if like this like what he's doing right now would be some sort of a huge deal that was like very big deal that basically like the majority of like the majority of the candidates in like the third to next time are league villagers. So like the old man Hokage might have totally dreamt about like once like the third phase of the next time begins like basically all those big shots he would unload as well as like the Karthik like all of them showing up to like the among the showing up and being in among like the attendants and all of them being like so extremely impressed with like the performance of like the lead village ninja and all that like the old man Hokage might have trained in even before like the third phase of the Chunin exam might have forget. But the interpreting like all of it like a great pride and joy and everything might have been totally crushed the moment like Naruto versus Nikki fight was over and basically Sasuke was like totally missing. Like at that point, like the old man Hokage might have totally thought of like basically playing it fair and basically even though the old man Hokage might have been extremely deep down enraged and disappointed with that Sasuke for taking things something that the old man Hokage might have seen as such extremely important as his like ultimate Chunin and like one of like the candidates even like daring to like even show up late like might have been like extremely frustrated and enraged deep down that like the old man Hokage's name was considering about shit. So like the old man Hokage might have totally decided that that he would be doing things in a fair manner and he would be like only disqualifying Sasuke and declaring Sara as like the winner. But like at that point, I'm literally putting especially like once like the Kage especially interfere and try to like basically and try to like trick like the old man Hokage into thinking like basically as to like them actually like wanting to like badly wanting to like see like the fight of like the Uchiha clan like the fight of Sasuke and that being like the sole reason when like the Kage went told the old man Hokage that like the sole reason like all these like that him as well as like all these great number of feudal lords, big shot feudal lords, all of them even bothering to even show up to like the league village to even be in like attendance for like and even watch like the third phase of the Chunin exam taking place in the league village was only to see like Sasuke's fight along against like Gaara. So at that point, I was remembering like the old man Hokage might have totally had his like huge ego and pride totally crushed with like the realization that basically that he felt that basically like absolutely like none of these like big shots are even interested in like seeing like the might of the like leaf village or anything like that. Basically, the old man Hokage at that point might have totally felt that basically like all of these like big shot feudal lords as well as the Kazekage have only shown up and are even showing interest in Sasuke not because Sasuke is part of like the Leaf Village, but only due to like Sasuke's connection to like the Uchiha clan alone. So like since like Sasuke is among like the very few survivors of like the Uchiha clan. So like at that point like that might have totally like that realization might have totally destroyed like the huge ego and pride that the old man Hokage might have been having until that point. So like at that point like the old man Hokage might have been like extremely frustrated and like my decision was that like at that point, like the old man Hokage might have totally felt like extremely frustrated and fearful as well at the same time as if to like the possibility that basically if Sasuke doesn't even shows up, like basically ends up not even showing up, then like all these like Kalkikage as well as like all this great number of big shot feud and lots like not even bothering to like watch like the remaining fights of like the League Village and like leaving even before like way before like the Chunin exam would even be ending like that way, like the conduction of that Chunin exam not even being like successful and it even ending up being a failure with like the people who a lot and all these pictures even leaving early and not even seeing towards like seeing to the end of like the Chunin exam at all. Like basically that might have totally created like a fear within like the old man Hokage. So like in my personal emotions that like the old man Hokage might have totally decided that that basically like the old man Hokage might have totally seen like one possibility of like basically Sasuke not even showing up at all to like the third phase of the Chunin exam, especially since like the Hokage might have been might be thinking that basically especially since like he had told precisely told like all these ninjas including Sasuke as to like how extremely important like the surface of this like damage and still Sasuke not even bothering to show up like might have only created this fear within like the old man Hokage thinking that basically maybe Sasuke might not even show up at all. So like even though like the old man Hokage might have only like agreed to like the Kazi again might have totally straight up postponed or like specific gave the specific special priority to like the case match and like postponed like the case match like even then like the old man Hokage might have totally thought that basically of like basically might have totally decided in his mind to like quickly conduct like all the remaining soon exam third phase fights of like the each of like the remaining candidates of like the EPJ just soon as possible so that like the June exam could be like successfully completed uh, before like all the uninterested like feudal lords and Kazekage might leave might even leave like the attendance of like the June exam, which would be extremely embarrassing and it would be like a failure to like the old man Hokage is definitely one of the members. So like precisely because of this reason might be the sole reason for like while like the old man Hokage before like the next time began might have genuinely might have seen like thought that basically all this pictures will be totally seeing this like third phase of the next time as like an extremely big deal. So like I'm considering the old man Hokage might have desperately wanted to like impress all of them by like ensuring to basically maintain that for uh, importance and quality of like the third phase of the Chunin exam by basically ensuring to like restore like the stage after each like fights in like the like supposedly the extremely important third phase of the Chunin exam after like each fight like Goldman Hokage might have initially planned to like basically restore and fix like the stage like the ground of like the battlefield after like each fight will be over might have been what like the old man Hokage might have initially thought, but like was different like once like the old man Hokage might have shockingly realized that absolutely none of the shot doesn't even care about like any other fights other than like the Uchiha Sasuke's fight alone. At that point, like to ensure that like the guest like these big short gifts doesn't leave before like the entirety of like the two exam doesn't ends up completed like so different precisely because of this reason like the old man Hokage might have totally decided to like contact like each of like the matches like as quickly as possible without fixing not even bothering to like fix like the ground stage like especially after like even after like Naruto versus Neji fight like Naruto had created these two massive holes in like the middle of like the very center stage of like the third phase of like the June exam but that's an extremely important third phase of the June exam and yet like basically Hokage might have only casually decided to like basically send each of like the remaining candidates out for like their battles as quickly as possible. So like even though it's like a two next battle, even though it's like a battle between ninjas where like speed and movement and everything is like extremely important. Yet precisely Temari as well as Shikamaru having to like basically fight in like the in the like extremely important June exam in like a battlefield that has two massive force like totally obstructing like their movements and everything still. And this might have been what exactly might have happened, and this might have been like precisely how like basically like the ground remained the massive holes created by two massive holes, not one but two massive holes created by Naruto after Naruto's match, like a remaining like unfixed, like even leading to like Temari versus Shikamaru battle, and that leading to like solely because of that reason alone, Shikamaru only being able to get his like special unfair advantage against like Temari into like Shikamaru being able to capture Temari using his totally taking advantage of those two massive holes and that way Shikamaru being able to like capture Temari using his like shadow position so might have been what might have actually happened. It's also definitely my personal theory analysis. Also, according to my personal theory, there are two possibilities. Either one of the possibilities that only Shikamaru trying to desperately trying to portray himself in front of the audience as cool by ensuring to like precisely succeed in like actually capturing Temari using his shadow position Buku and soon after that for Shikamaru to like basically give up so that that would totally look unique and kind of cool in front of like the entirety of like the audience right so to create such kind of like an image Shikamaru consciously having not given it like everything in his like fight against Temari. This is like one possibility that I'm observing. The second possibility is that Shikamaru actually being truthful and about like him actually having drained out all of it lost all of its chakra by the time like Shikamaru had finally succeeding in taking advantage of the unfair advantage with like the two massive giant swords to be able to like capture Temari that's the case, then in actuality, in actuality, like the Temari versus Shikamaru fight, the Triple exam fight was like actually conducted in a fair manner, then in an absolute fair and proper manner, then those two giant massive balls should not have been that wouldn't be present. And so if that was the case, then Shikamaru would have actually faced like an extremely embarrassing defeat against Temari. It's definitely my personal theory, especially because even with like two giant massive holes like existing in like the middle of like the stage in which like Shikamaru fought against Temari and especially since like that gave Shikamaru all that extreme unfair advantage yet like by the time Shikamaru was even able to capture Temari using his shadow position to like Shikamaru had already trained out his like chakra so like if those two massive holes weren't present there then Shikamaru would have totally been absolutely unable to like catch up Temari at all using like Shadow of the Ninjutsu, and that might not only ensure like Shikamaru like facing the extreme embarrassing defeat against like Temari, where like Shikamaru would be like losing without even being able to like capture Temari at all using his like Shadow of the Ninjutsu. Unlike the present situation with like Shikamaru, even though Shikamaru lost, like Shikamaru still was able to like capture Temari using his Shadow of the Ninjutsu. Is definitely my personal theory and prediction. So like I'm considering like the old man Hokage currently might be like patiently waiting for also would be considered here. My consider that the old man Hokage currently might not at all be having like motive and with the slightest bit of hope of like Sasuke even showing up to before like the 30th of the June exam event and but still I'm considering the old man Hokage and that might be the reason for like the old man Hokage quickly trying to like without even fixing the ground before each of like the matches in like the 30th of the June exam the old man Hokage quickly conducting each and every single match, like trying to like end the whole the 30th of the June exam before like the guests would like get bored and uninterested and leave. And that way, like Solman Hokage having to face such an extreme embarrassment in front of like the huge crowd. It's definitely my personal embarrassment. But even during that, but even while this, the old man Hokage would you think this as like a way higher possibility, like the old man Hokage would be also considering like the remote of the possibility in which like Sasuke might actually show up before the Chunin exam even ends. And if that's the case, then like I'm considering all my Hokage might be totally planning on basically to let like all the unimportant matches, like unimportant matches of everybody else other than like Sasuke's like match in like the Chunin exam take place with like a destroyed and badly damaged ground, so that like by the time Sasuke would be showing up, like the old man Hokage could totally put on this fake act and totally announce to basically to precisely fix the entire ground and turn it into like as brand as new as it was, like as proper as it was like before like the two next time even began by making the excuse that basically like all the uh, because of all this great number of fights happening, like the grounds have been like seriously been damaged. So like now and so that like the old man Hokage could have an excuse to like fix the ground before like Sasuke's battle against like Gaara, which like I'm remembering like the old man Hokage, which the old man Hokage might have only fixed in his mind that regardless of when like Sasuke even shows up to like the 30th of the June and to precisely ensure to like fix properly and perfectly fix like the ground, the stage ground before like Sasuke's fight begins, so that like especially because like the old man Hokage by now totally being aware that basically all the big shots of like the feudal lords as well as like the Kage all of them only be that all of them are only interested in like casket battles of the country. So like the old man Hokage would necessarily want casket battle to be as fair as possible. So like fixing the ground before casket battle would be like currently the highest top priority for like the old man Hokage. It's definitely my personal theory and for instance.